Whether you call them butterfly houses or hibernation boxes, you probably have seen something similar to this at your local garden center. They look a lot like bird houses, but instead of having a round opening or a hole, they actually have a slit in there for the butterfly to come in and out of. Now, upon looking at these, we started to investigate a little bit more about how functional they are for butterflies to either overwinter or take shelter in. And we found that according to our entomologists here at OSU, and also according to the North American Butterfly Association, that these butterfly houses are typically not used by butterflies at all. In fact, they just are more garden decorations or ornamentation to put around your landscape. Now, that's not to say that there's not purpose in that itself. They can provide a lot of color if you wanted to paint them, and they add just some whimsy and character into your garden. With that being said, we're going to show you an inexpensive way to make a butterfly house to add some whimsy into your garden. In order to make a butterfly house, we went and purchased a 6-foot tall picket that's got a dog ear top to it. And that's all you're going to need as far as the lumber to construct this. Our first cut we're going to make is going to be the roof of the house, and we're going to measure down 10¼ inches from the top of the picket. Now you'll notice that cut we made at a 30-degree angle, and that's so when it's on the roof there it sheds the water and it's still flush with the back of the house. So now we also have the same 30-degree cut on this part, and this is going to be the back of our house, and so we're going to measure down 12½ inches from it, and it will be a straight cut. Now, because we're starting off with a flat cut, our next cut is going to be angled again at a 30-degree, and that's going to be because this is the front of our house, and we've got to compensate for that angle of the roof coming in on it. So this front of the house is going to be 8¾ inch long. All right, now that's going to be our front piece, and we might want to set that aside because we're going to need to do more work to build that entrance slot for those butterflies to come into our decorative house. Now, our last cut that we made was again on a 30-degree angle, so we don't need that really again. We need a straight cut. So what we're going to do is just flip our board and go to the other end, and at this point we're going to build our sides off of this. So to start out, what we're going to do is measure 9 inches on one side of our board, and we're just going to make a little mark there at 9 inches, and then we're going to measure 12 inches off of that, and so we're about right there. Now on the opposite side of the board we're going to measure 12, so we're right there. And then we're going to come 9 inches off of that. And so we're right there. So in total, this is 21 inches that we're going to cut. But now between this, we're going to draw a line, and that's the angle that we're going to want to cut. Now that we've got all of our pieces cut, we're going to come back to that front piece that's going to be where we need to put our slit for our butterfly. And since this is about an 8¾ inch length piece of wood, we're going to come up and find the middle of it, about 4 inches, and make a mark right there. And what we can do is then come off, we're going to make the whole slit about 3 inches long. So we'll come down 1.5 inches from there. And we'll go up 1.5 inches from there too. We kind of want to put that in the middle. So we're going to need to move that over to right about 2¾ inch. And then we will go ahead and from there draw a line. So now that we've got our line to kind of guide us where that opening is going to be, at the bottom we're just going to drill a hole using a 1/2-inch drill bit, and then we're also going to drill a hole at the top of that. So now at this point we've got our 2 end points that are going to guide our slot between them, and just to make sure we try to have more of a straight line, we're going to use the outsides of those holes and draw another line that will guide us, and we'll either use a jigsaw or a routering tool. We're going to use a routering tool today to carve the rest of that out. After we've got our entry for our butterflies cut out, we're going to next drill pilot holes into each of the corners that we're going to then attach to one another. For this particular construction project, we are using 1-inch brass screws, but you could also use galvanized nails or even a nailer with brads. So for $3 and a little time and effort, we built ourselves our own butterfly house. Now, if you're an artist or you have a young child that likes to paint, this is a great way to get creative. You can either leave it natural, but again, add a lot of bright colors on here and add some personality to the garden. If you're looking to attract butterflies though, you're better off sticking with the colorful flowers.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.